What if I told you about a film with girl bosses as its protagonists? And I mean girl bosses who weigh roughly 115 pounds, yet physically dominate their opponents with melee weapons. What if I told you about a realistic anime style that suddenly crumbles to chibi? And I mean enhanced human forms in wild sequences of color, action, and motion. What if I told you about a plot whose main conflict was young women's soul-searching? And I mean a friend circle becoming a sisterhood, because its members learned how to unleash the power that was inside them from the beginning. What if I told you about a K-pop musical? And I mean a steady flow of bubblegum, hip-hop, and romance tracks that replaces dialogue. What if I told you about a climax that pitted a singing and dancing girl band against a singing and dancing boy band? And I mean a contest like The Voice to determine the fate of humanity. What if I told you this celebration of girl bossery, this vibrant amalgam of sophisticated and juvenile animation, this voyage of female self-discovery, this winner-take-all pop music talent show, was the best film of 2025 and the best animated film since, before Disney acquired Pixar. And I'll speak on the creators, plot, and surprising virtues of KPop Demon Hunters next. Welcome to Galactic Initiative. I'm your host, Jeff. A shout out to Piljun in South Korea. I miss you, brother. Today, I'm setting aside Star Wars to talk about something that defies logic in serendipitous ways. This video is tardy. I should have made it months ago. In June, my daughters watched an animated film on Netflix that changed their lives. By extension, it changed mine too. It was full of contradictions, fanciful and credible, amusing and serious, ephemeral and poignant. The title is cheesy, K-pop Demon Hunters. As a music enthusiast, I'm familiar with K-pop. Blackpink, BTS, Twice, Stray Kids, etc. It isn't my favorite genre, but it reminds me of a bygone era in America, when artists weren't pigeonholed by categories and images. Korean popular music, or K-pop, evinces the joy and freedom that America abandoned in the 90s, despite its contrivance and micromanagement by South Korean entertainment agencies. Its overworked artists have become idols on a global scale that rivals the Beatles. Their singing, dancing, and acting skills match or surpass those of the best performers from Australia, Canada, Japan, India, the United Kingdom, and the United States. Just as South Korea's burgeoning, innovative cinema has frequently outdone Hollywood's constipated, politically minded cinema, K-pop labels have repeatedly bested established Western labels by combining several music genres into something distinct and wonderful. K-pop Demon Hunters, or KDH, poured the same unbridled, imaginative energy into an animated film. Credit to Maggie Kang, creator, co-writer, and co-director. Chris Appelhans, co-writer and co-director, and Sony Pictures Animation. Maggie Kang was born in South Korea and raised in Canada. Previously, she contributed to Rise of the Guardians, Puss in Boots, and the Lego Ninjago movie. Her concept for KDH has led to fortune and glory. 4 of its songs simultaneously charted in Billboard's top 10, an unprecedented feat for a soundtrack, and 1 of its songs went platinum. It is the most watched film in Netflix history, and a sequel is already in development. Chris Appelhans was an illustrator for children's books before he joined Sony to write and direct animated features. He quarterbacked 2021's Wish Dragon, which played theaters in China but streamed on Netflix everywhere else. KDH has been the biggest achievement of his career. Japan's Sony Corporation funds screen projects for Asian markets. Did it recognize the crossover potential of KDH prior to streaming data from Netflix and praise from diverse regions of the world? The initial deficit of marketing and merchandise indicates no. To be clear, KDH is an English-language film, though its setting is South Korea and all its characters are South Korean. The visuals are Korean, the dialogue is English, and, like K-pop, the writing and singing mix English and Korean. No subtitles. Kang based the story on ancient and modern South Korean culture.
I think every aspect of this movie, whether it's design or color and lighting, it really needed to live in the K-pop space. And so we created this gigantic mural board with all of these references that were from K-pop music videos, from K-dramas, Vogue magazines, photo shoots of idols. And that kind of just led us down a path of this is our style. We want to be very editorial and photogenic. And is it cool? Does it live up to the K-pop standards? And that's kind of how we...
And I think the Korean standard, like Maggie really brought a specific point of view about how she wanted the girls to look and act, and designing their eye shapes, designing their mouth shapes, specifically working with our animation team to get very unique things that make it feel like that looks like a Korean person reacting and talking, even if they're speaking English. And I felt like that gave us a specific point to work from, and that makes all the difference when you're designing.
We just felt like it's rooting the mythology in something that's real, like shamanism in Korea, was an easy way for the audience to digest the concept. It was also like an opportunity to like showcase traditional women and show them as like really amazing warriors. And then when we met our girls, how do we take that and modernize it and make our girls just as cool? And so, yeah, we just wanted to do stuff that was kind of off the wall and unbelievable, right, but then be like, yes, yeah, this is the tone of the movie.
You can see lots of amazing music videos, but this has there's like a world-saving, dramatic, high-stakes thing that we're going to throw in the mix too that makes these girls have one more thing that an audience can kind of get interested in, which is really fun.
Allow me to summarize the basic concepts. No spoilers. The Demon King, Grima, wants to devour the soul of every human being, but a magical barrier prevents him from leaving the demon realm. For centuries, the barrier, called the Hanmun, has been sustained by singing, dancing, and fighting trios of women. Their voices nurture the Hanmun, and their mystic weapons eliminate the monsters that infiltrate South Korea. But how can demons slip through the barrier? Apparently, without music and goodwill, the Hanmun weakens, and many demons can disguise themselves as humans. In fact, many demons were humans before they fell to Grima's temptations. Patterns, or geometric tattoos, reveal the concealed villains. But patterns aren't always visible, and heroes aren't always nearby. Huntrix, a K-pop group, is the latest trio of Demon Hunters, and its members, Rumi, Mira, and Zoe, have an opportunity to permanently seal the Hanmun with an epic performance, one that harnesses their unity and popularity. Fans are the heart of Huntrix's power, so a fiend named Jinu launches the Saja Boys, a demonic K-pop quintuplet, with plans to defeat Huntrix and thereby destroy the Hanmun. Grima laughs at first, but after the boys deliver a smash single, souls yield to his appetite. Soon, Huntrix and the Saja Boys are pitted against each other in the Idol Awards, a high-stakes singing competition. Rumi lies, Zoe frets, Mira rages, and Jinu deceives. The future will be decided by pop songs. Ridiculous, huh? The premise should have crashed and burned as one of the worst ideas in entertainment history. But instead, it took flight. Why? On a basic level, the animation is appealing. The music is catchy. The characters are accessible. The script is clever. And the themes are wholesome. I enjoyed the bright, colorful, and energetic spectacle. The slightly exaggerated figures are reminiscent of anime, but they are grounded. No absurd transformations or uncanny valleys. The action is smooth and realistic. Costumes, combat, concert venues, choreography, all eyeball candy. Chibi unexpectedly bring humor. Chibi is a Japanese word. I'm not aware of an analogous term in Korean. If it exists, no offense intended. The film deftly intersperses wittiness with hilarity. Overall, it is very funny. I prize subtle laughs, and I discerned more with every viewing. Numerous designs are iconic. The three heroes, Rumi, Mira, and Zoe, immediately stand out. They have unique personalities, complete with both endearing and frustrating idiosyncrasies. Their styles, backgrounds, motivations, and most of all, voices truly distinguish them. Though they are beautiful, talented, rich, and famous, they struggle to fulfill their awesome responsibilities and deal with their personal problems. By the end, the depth of my regard surprised me. Unconscious investment is the best description. Over 96 minutes, I came to know and like the main characters. When the narrative reached its climax, I was more affected than I would have communicated had I been subjected to questioning. The feels snuck up on me. And in my opinion, the film's best attribute is heart. The young women are intense and silly, hardworking and playful, tough and vulnerable, exalted and approachable, expert and naive. In short, they are complex individuals who never stray into Hollywood's one-note Mary Sue girl boss triteness. Take that, all ye who cry hater when I criticize American screenwriters for virtue signaling at the expense of storytelling. Kang and Apple Hans managed to empower women and explore identity in a lore that accounts for their training and accomplishments. Also, the three are unabashedly feminine in their presentation, a quality sorely lacking in Western media for years. Derpy is just, well, I won't spoil him. The Demon King Grima is evil, not misunderstood. His goal is the end of days. No apologies, no gray area. Thus, he instigates the secondary conflicts and accelerates the main conflict. Grima isn't a milquetoast antagonist whose backstory recontextualizes him as a victim and whose confrontation results in trauma dumping and salvation. KDH doesn't attempt to sugarcoat, dilute, or subvert evil, and I applaud its epic time-tested methodology in lieu of oppression du jour. Generally, I don't like pop or musicals. A fusion of the two seems akin to torture, but the music is actually copacetic. As I said moments ago, K-pop doesn't compartmentalize its executants. KDH swings from hype to diss to emo, but somehow the combination appropriately serves the story. Outside the US, audiences must appreciate versatility because they embrace K-pop's multi-talented artists. In the US, a rapper wouldn't be accepted as a balladeer. A balladeer wouldn't be accepted as a hip-hop dancer. A hip-hop dancer wouldn't be accepted as a dramatic actor. Exceptions? Less than a handful in the history of American entertainment. KDH disregards these confines, and it reaps the benefits with a set of earworms, or mashed-up multi-genre global bangers. Aside, why are petite, amicable, multilingual women from South Korea outdoing large, abrasive, monolingual men and women from the culture that invented rapping? From my perspective, the key is creativity. The former continue to try new things. They don't write from arrogance. They are reconceiving archetypes. Nuff said. I respect how it's done, Golden, and what it sounds like, the movie's defining songs. Will I be listening to them during my free time? Probably not, but KDH has an excellent soundtrack. A simple assessment for any purported musical. Do the vocal numbers advance the plot? If not, the production isn't a musical in my reckoning. KDH includes abundant songs of major significance, so it easily passes that test. Its singing and rapping provide dialogue and exposition. The displayed values are sweeping: goodness, harmony, love, resilience, and redemption. Certain characters experience principal dilemmas, but the production doesn't break its moral compass to cast the illusion of edginess. It clearly identifies right from wrong and heroes from villains. KDH themes are likewise universal: good and evil, courage and heroism, the power of friendship, identity and self-actualization, admiration versus adulation. In conclusion, I recommend K-Pop Demon Hunters. It isn't my usual arena, but thanks to my daughters, it caught and held my attention. I'm worried about the second installment. Will it have the same devotion poured into it? Can it avoid Hollywood's pitfalls? Netflix has challenges with follow-ups. I hope Maggie Kang didn't exhaust her entire vision in one film. If so, I wouldn't blame her. The odds are against first-time writers and directors, so when the calls come, they must empty their tanks. No second chances, no tomorrow. Often producers, not creators, deserve blame for unnecessary prolongations because studios press for financial, not artistic reasons. I would hate to see a cash grab sequel on the heels of such a heartwarming endeavor. For now, I'll relish the unforeseen hit. Please like and subscribe for the good of my channel. Writing, recording, and editing takes hours, but you can maintain my honmoon with your support. If you've watched K-Pop Demon Hunters, I would love to read your thoughts. Please consider a comment. Until next time, 감사합니다.